Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Hillary Clinton and the law. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. The October surprise is here. The FBI saying it is examining new evidence over allegations that Hillary Clinton may have violated national security by using a private email system as Secretary of State. Mrs. Clinton thought she had put this to rest when FBI Director Comey said the case was not strong enough to prosecute last summer. Upon hearing that, Congressman Elijah Cummings was overjoyed with Comey.
I don't know whether your family's watching this, but I hope that they are as proud of you as I am, because you are the epitome of what a public servant is all about.
But that was then. After Friday's announcement that Comey was reopening the investigation, Cummings had a different take.
I think here Director Comey made a grave mistake. We all make mistakes, but this is a grave mistake.
My question, how would the congressman know it's a grave mistake? He has not seen what the FBI has seen. Truth is, Elijah Cummings and other Democrats do not want to know the truth, do not want justice to take place. And that holds true for the President of the United States, Barack Obama, as well. Based on reporting by Fox News and other agencies, Talking Points has come to the conclusion that the President has made it quite clear to Attorney General Loretta Lynch that he does not want any prosecution of Hillary Clinton or any investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Mrs. Lynch got the message, and according to the Wall Street Journal, is furious that FBI Director Comey has reopened the email investigation. For his part, Comey had to inform Congress about possible new information because in September he said this.
Would you reopen the Clinton investigation if you discovered new information that was both relevant and substantial?
It's hard for me to answer in the abstract. We would certainly look at any new and substantial information.
Yeah.
Comey's not a fool. He knows that if email on Huma Abedin's computer, that's Mrs. Clinton's top assistant, contains classified national security information, he knows that he, Comey, would eventually take the fall if he did not pursue obvious leads and tell Congress. So he had to go public, even though reports are Loretta Lynch did not want him to do so. The whole thing's a mess, with politics perhaps trumping justice. Even former Attorney General Eric Holder weighed in, saying Comey was wrong. This is the same Holder who was held in contempt of Congress because he failed to turn over documents related to the Fast and Furious gun scandal. Holder ran his Justice Department under President Obama in the most partisan political way possible. A deplorable situation. Unfortunately, it looks like Attorney General Lynch is doing the same thing. There is no question the new exposure is hurting Hillary Clinton. A new ABC News poll says 34% of Americans are now less likely to vote for her. Also, her poll numbers are falling. The Real Clear average is now less than 3% in her favor, down substantially in a week. Mrs. Clinton is not happy.
I'm sure a lot of you may be asking what this new email story is about and why in the world the FBI would decide to jump into an election with no evidence of any wrongdoing with just days to go. That's a good question.
And it is a question that deserves an answer, but we will not get that answer before Election Day. For his part, Donald Trump, who condemned Comey for letting Clinton off the hook last summer, is now happy.
And I have to give the FBI credit. That was so bad what happened originally, and it took guts for Director Comey to make the move that he made in light of the kind of opposition he had where they're trying to protect her from criminal prosecution. You know that. It took a lot of guts.
Talking Points is not sure whether it took a lot of guts because, as stated, Comey would have eventually been held accountable if the emails on Ms. Abedin's computer show national security violations. So while Comey was covering his butt last summer, he may be also covering it now. Finally, there's a civil war within the FBI. Comey knows that. Some career agents have offered their resignations because they don't believe the Clinton email investigation was conducted in a rigorous way. Comey, Lynch, and President Obama could have saved the nation all of this turmoil had they done what they should have done in the first place: convened a federal grand jury to review the evidence presented by the FBI. That would have gotten politics out of it. But in America at this point in history, justice takes a back seat to politics. Not acceptable. And that's the memo. Now for the top story reaction. Joining us from Washington, Charles Krauthammer. And you say?
Comey did the right thing. And Comey did the only thing he could do. He had absolutely no choice. There's no way when you've declared an investigation closed, and then you say, I would open it if I got new information. And he's presented with new information. How much of it he knows about the internals, we don't know. But he had no choice but to say that this is what's going on. Now, whether or not he knows that there is something that will torture in those emails, nobody right now is in a position to know, which makes it such an impossible situation.
There are reports that the FBI agents who are looking at Ms. Abedin's computer, and this is Anthony Weiner's computer as well, both of them used it. There are reports they sat on this for a number of weeks. This just didn't happen. All right, so the FBI has been looking at this computer for a while. It seems to me that Comey never would, knowing now that Comey is a political player, never would have roiled the election unless somebody gave him a heads up, hey, this is serious.
Well, according to what I've read, and you and I are depending on what we read on this, this was not brought to his attention for several weeks. So if you want to accuse anybody of sitting on it, that would be the people in the case in New York who were looking to prosecute Anthony Weiner. That would not be the Comey people here who were looking into Hillary's emails.
That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is if the FBI agents have been looking at this computer for weeks, they know, all right, what's on it, at least in part. And they wouldn't have flagged their boss because they know all hell would break loose unless there was something that they feel is important.
Well, look, that's what everybody is assuming, and that is why 34% of the electorate is less inclined to vote for Hillary because of this. Everybody assumes there's stuff on it, that Comey knows what's on it, or at least in part, and that's why he felt he had to act, or he'd be run out of town if she wins the election. This is discovered.
Right.
He really had no choice. And I think, you know, when it originally happened, when he originally issued his statement about her being careless, you know, sort of amazingly, recklessly careless, but not wanting to indict, I did not agree with his conclusion, but I did not accuse him of bad faith. I was not one of those who thought he had betrayed anybody or anything. I think he wanted to do it precisely because he did not want to be the guy who changed the course of an election. The great irony is that he now is the guy who changes the course.
And that means that there had to be more there that disturbed him, because I think it's all about Comey. And I didn't like the FBI releasing the stuff Friday before Labor Day weekend. I thought that was a political move. What is your assessment of Attorney General Lynch?
She seems to me to be very weak, very much politically influenced, very much not somebody who stands on principle. I think she clearly has been one who wanted to make sure that there was no indictment of Hillary and no jeopardy to the Democratic campaign.
And you think that came from Obama?
That we can never know. Because I tell you what, if you're Attorney General, I don't think the President summons you to his office and says, hey, I want you to fix the deal.
Holder told her.
You know and I know that doesn't happen.
Holder told her.
Well, whether it was Holder, I don't even think anybody's stupid enough to go ahead and say that. You know what your boss wants. This is such a common thing in every walk of life. You know, or you think, you impute what the boss wants. He doesn't have to say it, and that's why all this stuff happens.
So she's putting politics above justice, in your opinion?
It's the, will someone rid me of this troublesome priest? That's what happens. You don't say it, You don't have to say it. It's known by your henchmen. And they go out and they kill the Archbishop of Canterbury.
And Charles referring to Thomas Becket.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, Hillary is not a saint, nor is Trump here. The one thing I think we're going to have, the President has to issue an executive order to install showers in every voting booth in America, because you're going to need it when you walk out.
All right, Charles, thank you.